Hello, today's discussion will focus on opiates versus opioids. An opiate is a substance that is derived from a poppy plant that contains opium. An opioid is a substance that can be made from a poppy plant containing opium, or it can be synthetically made from opium. Opioids may take on the form of an opiate once it reaches the human body because they share the same molecules. This discussion, however, will focus on opioids, particularly fentanyl and carfentil. Common opiates we hear today are hydrocodone, Vicodin, hydromorphone, Demerol, oxycodone, Oxycontin, Percocets. Opioids are used to treat moderate to severe pain that may not respond well to other medications, such as Tylenol or ibuprofen. Some physical symptoms of opioid misuse are fatigue, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, confusion, respiratory depression, which is a decrease in breathing, or even death. So as you all know, there's an opiate crisis today, with carfentil and fentanyl being at the forefront due to the mixing and lacing with these substances that occur into other illicit drugs. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid. It works similarly to morphine. However, its intended use is to help with severe pain after surgical procedures. They're used to help with comfort at the end of life or for comfort for those suffering with cancer. Carfentil is also a synthetic opiate. However, it is used as a tranquilizer for large animals such as an elephant or a giraffe. Carfentil is a synthetic opioid that has approximately 100 times more potency than fentanyl. It also has 10,000 times more potency than morphine, so it's very, very powerful. Carfentil is related to fentanyl due to its properties. However, it is not. Neither one of them are approved for street use. They should be used for medical purposes in the appropriate settings. Carfentil and fentanyl are prescription drugs, again, used for medical purposes and medical settings. They are synthetically made and mixed with street drugs, however, which is what we're seeing in the crisis. They're now being mixed with street drugs such as cocaine, methamphetamines, and with counterfeit pills, which is leading to addiction and misuse. I just like to say touching or even inhaling carfentil or fentanyl can be lethal. They're inexpensive to make. They look very similar to prescription pills, but can cause death in a matter of seconds. Let me give you an example. 2 milligrams of carfentil, again, which is a tranquilizer, should be used to tranquilize large animals such as elephants, giraffes. So a 2 milligram of carfentil is strong enough to tranquilize an elephant or a giraffe, a normal sized elephant or giraffe, but it's also strong enough to kill about 50 people. Let that sink in. 2 milligrams of carfentil is strong enough to tranquilize a normal sized elephant or giraffe, but also strong enough to kill 50 people. So here's a visual for you. An NFL team have about 55 players on its roster, but only 48 of the players of the 55 can be listed as active and eligible to play on any game day. So a hit of fentanyl or carfentil by every player on game day will wipe out an entire team. Opiate receptors are located throughout our brains, throughout our bodies. They're in the nervous system, in our central nervous system, our respiratory system, and our gastrointestinal system, which are our stomach, our gut. They enter our body via several routes. You can swallow them, so orally, intramuscular, intravenous, which is by IV through a needle. By smoking, you can inhale it, snorting. So there's various routes that opiates can enter the system. Once they enter the system, they hit our cells, our receptors in the brain to make them respond. So opiate receptors are located in the brainstem, which control our automatic processes, which are also critical to life, such as blood pressures and respiratory. within seconds or even minutes. When opiates travel through the brainstem, through our bloodstream, when it travels through our bloodstream, it travels to our brain. Then it latches onto opiate receptors, which then release dopamine, which is an opiate receptor, a feel-good receptor. It helps the body relieve pain. It helps the body experience pleasure. So by overstimulating this receptor, you want more and more to continue to experience that feeling or to be out of pain. Opiates work in the limbic system in our brain. The limbic system controls our emotions, our feelings, our pleasure. It works in this part of the brain by increasing that rush. That's when you get that rush feeling, which again leads to misuse and addiction. Opiates work on the brain stem, which is responsible for our breathing, by depressing the respiratory drive, so decreasing the breathing. Opiates also work on the spinal cord by producing an analgesic effect. So it's a pain reliever. It works by blocking the transmission of pain receptors between the neurons. So they prevent the sensation of pain from reaching the brain, which is why they want more and more of the opioids. So virtually with everything else in life, if used appropriately, opiates have very, very far-reaching benefits. However, if they're used inappropriately, they can also have many negative consequences. So let's discuss some treatment options. Naloxone. Naloxone is also referred to as Narcan, which is a reversal agent to opiates, the only reversal agent to opiates. Naloxone, Narcan, it works by blocking the effects of opiates in the brain to help you restore normal breathing. So if you walk up on a person, they're blue, they're slumped over, they don't have a pulse, they're not breathing. If you know they are or suspect them to be an opiate user, if you have Narcan, it's best to just Narcan them and to see if it responds, if they respond well to it. If not, then it may have taken too long to administer the Narcan, or it could be something else. But it's always good if you do have Narcan on hand to go ahead and administer the Narcan and contact emergency medical assistance, because Narcan does have a short half-life. It only lasts about 30 to 90 minutes, while opiates can have a much longer effect. So if you do happen to find someone down, Narcan them, they respond, it's still good to get medical personnel on the way to assist in case they need additional assistance with breathing or any other complications. There's also treatment through Narcotics Anonymous, which are located throughout communities where one could seek support and tools to help with achieving and maintaining their sobriety. There's medication-assisted treatments such as methadone, buprenorphine, which have many names such as Subutex, Suboxone, Zubsolv, but these are options to help decrease opiate use. It also helps with harm reduction by decreasing things such as sharing of needles, which can lead to hepatitis C, HIV, or it can help decrease the engagement of risky behaviors. So if you or someone you know may be struggling with the misuse of opiates, I strongly encourage you to have them or yourself seek medical treatment from an addiction specialist, where a discussion can take place to develop a treatment plan, which includes psychotherapy, which is talk therapy, and medication-assisted treatments such as buprenorphine, methadone, naltrexone, Vivitrol. There's many options one can use to help them decrease their opiate use or totally achieve sobriety. Once you achieve sobriety, these medications can be tapered off and you can lead a normal, productive life again. I do want to thank you for your time and for listening and bringing awareness to this opiate crisis. And as always, have a great day.